maybe you're not surprised by this, but the left is in all-out assault mode against the First Amendment. Now it's freedom of the press. NBC News reported earlier today that Google had cut off 2 websites. Oh, not the Huffington Post, by the way. The Federalist and Zero Hedge from its ad revenue platform. That's how you make all the money. Now, the sites were part of a blacklist put together by liberal activists, okay? And that was done in the UK, and they were seeking to fight fake news, which really just means views that don't align with mine. Now, according to the initial report, the Federalist was punished for publishing an article claiming the media had been lying about looting and violence during the protests. Now, here's the alarming part. It was NBC News itself that presented the blacklist to Google. What, are they afraid of the Federalist over at NBC? The peacock is afraid. Now, in fact, they openly gloat about it, saying Google blocked the Federalist after NBC News verification unit brought the project to its attention. But this afternoon brought a major twist to this saga. Google claimed the Federalist was never demonetized, but rather had been given 3 days to correct the issue, or else. Now, it turns out the issue wasn't the content of an article. This is unbelievable. I can't believe I'm saying this. But it was rather the comments section of the website. So what Joe Schmo writes gets used against the Federalist. Now, joining me now is the political editor at the Federalist, John Daniel Davidson. He wrote the article, the offending article, had all people upset. John, now to resolve the matter, y'all had to completely delete the comments section of your website. Did Google ever explain, why you guys are accountable for the things readers or trolls were saying? And is that going to apply to other websites as well?
You mean like YouTube, which has one of the worst comment sections on the internet that Google owns? No, we've temporarily taken down our comments. And my understanding is our comment section will be back. Like a lot of websites, we don't monitor our comments, and I personally never read the comments, and I encourage no one to read the comments. No, but this was really about trying to get the Federalist deplatformed, demonetized, and shut down, because somebody over at NBC News doesn't like the fact that we often criticize NBC News and other mainstream media outlets for being dishonest and disingenuous, which they are all the time. And this is a great case in point, what you just explained. This entire story came out because NBC News brought this to Google's attention and then asked Google to comment on it or do something about it.
But isn't it I say, isn't it shocking? Like, I shouldn't be shocked by this, and I guess my viewers shouldn't either. But in the press briefing room, right, when the president says, no, you're done, and it goes to the next question, they always make this big say, well, no, I'm going to ask the question that so-and-so wanted to ask, Mr. President. And they make it like they're so noble and standing up for another journalist. But did anyone stand up for you other than some in the conservative-oriented media today? Any of your other journalism colleagues?
No, absolutely not. There was a lot of shock and outrage among conservative colleagues, including some conservative colleagues at other right-of-center publications. No, but for the most part, the mainstream media doesn't want to be criticized, and they're not interested really in free speech or the free exchange of ideas. The article in question that I wrote that apparently was considered hateful by this foreign left-wing media watchdog group was an article that criticized media coverage of the protests, many of which devolved into rioting and looting, as we all know, because we all saw the videos. This has been all over the news now, but the initial coverage I was pointing out, and especially the commentary that we saw from mainstream media outlets and pundits with big platforms on Twitter, was totally dishonest and disingenuous. And that's what I was pointing out. And that, to left-wing ideologues, is hate speech, is racist, is bigoted, and shouldn't be allowed to be on the internet, and certainly no one should be allowed to monetize Google ads for that sort of thing.
Don't you think at some point, John, I mean, the Justice Department has got to take a look at all this stuff. I mean, they are the town square. I mean, they are operating as the town square here. I mean, and if you can police thought, which it looks like they're doing or trying to do, that could affect the whole election if they expand these rules to other sites.
Yeah, I mean, don't hold your breath waiting for Google to go looking at the comment section of Huffington Post or the New York Times or any of the other media outlets. No, obviously they are looking at conservative sites a little differently than they're looking at mainstream sites or left-leaning sites.
Well, John, we're going to continue to police this and look for the legal avenues that perhaps can be taken so this kind of nonsense doesn't keep happening. Thanks for being out there, and thanks for writing what you're